So if it does pass, then we can start using it right away. If it doesn't pass, so you have two votes. You have the Friday vote, you have to get at least 50%. And then you have if that passes, then you have the Saturday vote and you need 2/3. Whether it was recommended or not, you still need 2/3. So if it fails on either of those two votes, then the next step will be that another state will consider whether they would do a study. And now that we've been through it once, they would be more careful about exactly what they put and make it a very brief position that could be easily manipulated in there. And in the meantime, any state that wanted to act faster, if their bylaws allow a special convention, or if they have a meeting coming right up, then they could choose to concur and use it at their own levels. So you could still, so for instance, some states might choose to advocate for those corporate practice of medicine laws. I know that in Colorado, Fort Collins, I think it was, had an issue about trash removal, and they couldn't get involved in advocacy to bring it. It was publicly paid for and and delivered, and then they sold it to or contracted with a private group to do it, and it was not working so well. It was costing more, and it wasn't working as well. And so the League of Women Voters could not advocate to bring it back, but other groups did, and the other groups were successful. There was another example of privatization is in Chicago, when they sold the administration of their parking spots to a private company, and then like the prices go up, and then COVID hits, and they can't let restaurants use those parking spots for eating outside like they did in so many cities. I'm not sure what Chicago is doing about this, whether they've gotten it back or what the scoop is. I think they had like a 75-year contract, so I think they might be stuck. But the League of Women Voters would not be able to advocate in that regard without a position like this.
Because of the way it's worded now.
Because the wording currently does not allow deprivatization.
Right.
But you could do it. You could do a concurrence even at a local league. If it was just Chicago that wanted to do it and not all of Illinois, they could work on it. But for instance, in New York, there are some very active activists who would like to do more protection against private equity owning healthcare services. And the state as a whole, the state league, has not gotten on board with this. So they, in particular, the local leagues that really want to advocate for state laws, for instance, to protect their healthcare resources, they could use this if there was a national position. And let me think, how does this work? If it was a local issue, then they could just lean on the national position. If they wanted to advocate for state law, they would still need to have approval from the state. But if they had the backing of the national position and did their research and presented it in a compelling way, then the state could choose to let them use the national position even though the state hadn't supported it. Any other questions?
No, but thank you for tonight.
You're very welcome.
I just want to ask, so I've been at this one, I was at the last one. There is a caucus that's going to be on Friday morning. Is that, I mean,
you don't need to, and I will not say, if somebody asked a question that specifically I had not answered before, you'd miss out on that. But for the most part, there's 8 other caucuses.
Right.
If you understand this well enough, come to our table beforehand, grab some papers of the quarter sheets to share, and go to a different caucus so we can reach more people.
Okay.